All right. Today we have why we should ban children, and finally someone has said it before me because kids are kind of annoying. I don't have any, but yeah, kids are kind of annoying.
Raw. We all like it raw. But there's consequences. Some people get a rash, others get a gremlin named Nash. It's not just you that suffers. No, when you don't pull out, the rest of us are pulled into your nightmare. Cut to me 3 weeks ago, and I'm one of the last people to board a plane to Austin. When I get to my seat, I notice an empty one next to it, and I'm thinking, sweet, poor man's first class. Then, I heard it.
I ain't gonna lie, I am so happy. Out of all the planes I've ever been on in my life, I have never been close to or on a plane with a crying baby, because to be honest, for me, it wouldn't do anything because hopefully they have TVs on the flight or I have my phone and I have my headphones in listening to music. But just the fact that there is someone so inconsiderate of everybody else in the world to bring their baby on a plane when they know their kid cries a lot will never not perturb me.
God, please. I know I make a lot of diddler jokes, but excuse me. Fiery! Hey, is this your seat? That's right, I sat next to a couple and their 11th-month-old baby. 12, he needs a seat, but 11, it's fine. Just hold in your arms. Who needs a life preserver when you're holding a pool noodle? Now, I was expecting a cry fest, but what I got was much worse. Because this demon would just randomly, no build-up either, just sporadic. Oof, thanks, kid. Almost fell asleep there. On top of the random shrieks, this kid had permanent I'm about to throw up face. Now, I would never hit a child, but if one is vomiting at me, then I'm throwing a stiff arm. No one's throwing a penalty flag on a plane. If I'm in danger, I will grab a face mask. Sorry, can't juke in a seat. Besides, it's gonna be really hard to convict without any cameras. Assault? No.
Also, another random thing. The fact that people don't even put their baby in a stroller for really young ages, like the month ages, is crazy. Because you're telling me we have so much faith in parents that if the plane just takes a dip, everybody's supposed to be flying, but the reason they're not flying because the centrifugal force or whatever keeps them from floating, blah, 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 blah. And you're expecting people to hold onto their baby? Yeah, I'm letting go.
Oh, you mean turbulence? Sounds more like a God problem. Anyway, what were the parents of this spawn like? Well, if I had to describe them in one word, it would be defeated. Mom looked like she hadn't slept since the gender reveal, and Dad just kept rubbing his head, probably thinking, why didn't I pull out? And their outfits matched their desperation. Mom had on a crop top that kept raising above her C-section scar, and Dad had on dirty white New Balances with a knee brace. It was clear the only thing f***ing them was reality. Now, the mom was trying her best to distract the baby, bouncing it, rubbing its back, shaking it just enough not to be considered a crime. But nothing was working. Baby would throw out tard face for a moment, then go right back to glick.
I can guarantee you that is how the baby is in a car. So why are you bringing it on a plane with other people? You inconsiderate. I hate people like that. Just so inconsiderate.
Finally, she decided to give her baby some Coke, also known as Coco Melon. Coco Melon is like drinking a Red Bull during a seizure. Every time I hear the theme song, I lose a memory. If I wanted to talk to someone, I'd strap a VR headset to them, set the brightness to max, and play 1 hour of Wheels on the Bus. Round and round. But Coco did its job and distracted the baby. Probably because it couldn't say, Jesus Christmas, make it stop! Anyway, about an hour later, the mom starts to doze off, which to a baby is the perfect time for mayhem. And just as the mom passes out, the baby swats the phone in her hand. I go to pick it up for her and feel a small piece of the screen missing. I'm thinking, well, this chick's life's already broken. What's another stressor at this point? But bro, when I handed the phone back, her face screamed, why, God? Why? It's like the baby said, every time you look down, you think of me. 20 minutes after that, and they start handing out drinks. Mom gets water, and the dad gets a double shot of bourbon. Even the flight itself.
Man, bro, if this is what it's like to have kids, you're just, finally got drink. Damn.
was like, you good, bro? I got a ginger ale and immediately regretted it. Normally I'd sip it occasionally, but this baby be flailing. And I don't want to be playing goal line defense for the flight, so I just chugged it. After the adults got their bevies, it was time to feed the baby. So the mom starts breastfeeding, which wouldn't have bothered me. She takes both tits out. Like, is he working for seconds? Are you only rocking a half pint in each? How do your udders work, cow? But even with options, the baby was not feeling it. He'd suckle for a bit, then look around, almost to say, it's a little bitter. After snacks, the baby, of course, shit himself, but the parents do not get up. Smell is thrusting.
Again, this baby is not potty trained. Why is it around other people? Keep it keep it isolated. What's the thing called? In a quarantine until it can use the bathroom by itself.
Around the cabin as I'm thinking,
why? This should be illegal.
Not notice. No. Miss. What? I think he pooped himself. Oh, here, let me get up. So the mom takes the baby to the bathroom, leaving me with Peakton High School Bill. He looked like he was one diaper change away from ending himself. So I say to him, "Hey, is that your only kid?" Yep. First one's always the hardest. Do you have any kids? Me, no. No. I have a dog. That's why I'm happy. Dad just squints at me for a moment and goes back to looking at his phone. A few minutes later, the plane hits some turbulence, and I'm thinking, how's that diaper change going?
Oh, damn, I just hit her in the face.
The mom comes out with fresh marks on a crop top, and before I...
242, sit. Not the baby, that was a sporadic attack.
Can get up, she just hands me the baby like an in-flight snack, saying, pass him over, then heads back to the bathroom. I quickly toss it to Pops, and of course, it starts to cry.
Hey, man.
But without missing a beat, the dad just shoves a finger in its mouth and just...
Hey, yo.
Silence. Damn, I guess putting it in doesn't always create problems. But problems be coming, because Stacy is back, and before she can take her seat, her husband just holds the baby out like, take it. Take it! This sparks some whisper fighting of, I held him all day. You can't even hold him for 5 minutes.
Come on, Tom. Oh, please. Like, let's not do this right now in front of the baby and in public. Just hold the baby for a little bit. Honey, catch my breath, please. Honestly, factual. But the mom should just stay in the bathroom for a longer time. Personally, that's what I used to do. No, I'm not going to tell that story. I don't have enough money for me to tell that story.
Minutes? Shut up. Don't tell me to shut up. Shut up. Don't ever tell me to shut up!
Save the date is love.
I ain't gonna lie. There should really be a test for parents. Like, you have to take care of like an egg. Like, do one of those home ec things as an adult, but with like a realistic type baby. And then see how you do before you start just going and wrong.
Hey, what are you doing, baby? Stop grabbing at the what? Oh, you little gremlin! God, I just want to slap your little hand so badly. Right. So I take off my headphones and continue to write down all the chaos when the mom looks at my phone and says, are you writing about us? You're disgusting. I'm disgusting. Why do I know what both your nips look like? You giving dinner and a show? Then she tells me to delete it. I'm like, delete what? Delete what you're writing about us. Miss, I know your life's in shambles right now, and you're like...
No, it'd be hilarious. Imagine she was a fan, or he's a fan of his content, and he's just sitting here watching this like, man, this seems so familiar.
Lashing out because you lack proper coping mechanisms, but you can't force me to do anything. So how about you turn back towards your biggest mistake and deal with the shitty hand you dealt yourself?
Was the baby shirtless and only in a diaper this whole time? Oh, dang. Oh.
Is this Karen serious? Hello, can you please move him? Is there a problem? Yes, he keeps harassing me and I want him moved. Man, we're about 35 minutes from landing and this is a full flight. There aren't any open seats. Can't he switch with someone? I can't force another passenger to give up their seat. If you feel unsafe, I can notify airport security to meet us at the gate and they'll take a full statement. Good, do that. Pause. Now, I love trolling Karens, but a plane is not the place to do it. They're a bunch of tired, stressed out passengers.
Also, bro, if she lies good enough, you might end up on the no-fly list. God damn. Being on the no-fly list in a different like country, state that's not yours has to be crazy, because either they're gonna send you right back and you can never go on a plane again, or you're stranded. Either one sucks.
Trying to make connections, and I'm not going to amp up some walrus for the lulz. But it would have been so easy. All it would have taken is a simple, did you just come from the beach? Because you're be Sandy. Or, a woman's value is based on looks, and yours are gone. Or, just drive into the lake. Or, just drive. Just drive right off the pier to a peaceful life. Oh, and take your luggage with you. Don't give them to a better fam. Drown them in the sedan. Or turn to the dad and say, bro, remember, you can always walk away. That is her responsibility. It's your tax. Pay taxes and die. That's life. Or 23 pills. Just 23 pills and it's all over.
23 pills a day. Save yourself the stress.
25 for the squad. You're going to let someone else quarterback your team? No. It's either touchdown or drown. Guaranteed that would get one of them vibrating. Oh, but I decided to be lame and sit there quietly scheming. All right, maybe I can bypass security. I'm a fast speed walker. There's no way I'm losing to a bitch in flip-flops. But her screaming, "Stop that man," could cause some problems. Tits. I think I'm gonna have to wait for security. But if I make them laugh, I think I'm in the clear. All right, let's start organizing some one-liners. Okay, we got Sandy Cooter, how do your udders work, cow, drown, oh, you know what, maybe not that one. Finally, we land in Austin, and as soon as they turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, got interesting. I stand up and throw on my backpack when the mom says, "Don't think you're getting away." I wisely didn't respond, but the husband sure does, firing back a, "Are you serious right now? I'm not wasting time because you're PMSing."
Damn, is this what it's like to get married? Man, I was already 50-50 on if I ever wanted to get married. But like things like this, I'm like, damn, let's move that down to 25. Ooh wee.
PMSing? Ooh, that's right, floodgates are open. I'm so sick of you
Not
doing
really.
this, she mutters while fumbling with the baby bag. Keep your voice down. Don't tell me to calm down. Lower your fucking voice. Then the baby starts wailing, and now it's a scene. I glance around the cabin and see phones slowly rising.
You know what's actually funny? They're gonna stay together for life. Probably cheat here and there. Hopefully no one finds out. But they're gonna be together, and it's gonna be a story they tell their child. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Just me saying that alone, move that down to 10%.
Eventually, we start inching forward, and the mom just forces her way into the aisle, saying, "Move!" Person behind us,
Damn.
"Jesus Christ, lady!" Flight attendant comes overhead, saying, "Let's all try to exit in an orderly fashion." Then as we're continuing to shuffle our way off the plane, the mom says, "I told you this trip was a bad idea." Dad responds back with the coldest, "This trip wasn't a mistake. Marrying you..."
Todd, bro, I know it's stressful, but like, Todd, you can't say that to your wife, bro. That's inappropriate. I ain't gonna lie, that's inappropriate in front of the kid too. Is he balding or that just a shadow of his head? Anyway, that's inappropriate, Todd. Foul.
Was. Whole aisle goes, "Ooh." Eventually I make it to the terminal, and sure enough, 3 security officers be waiting. Before I can even adjust my backpack, I hear, "That's him right there." So I stop, but the dad keeps walking. Doesn't look back, doesn't say a word, just beelines it straight to freedom. Mom starts chasing him, yelling, "Jim, wait! Jim!"
Ah, damn, I was so
Turned to one of the
close.
officers and shrugs, saying, "Karens." He nods like, "Yep, that tracks."
Sorry.
And then I took it as my cue to keep moving. As I made my way to baggage claim, I began to reflect on all the chaos when it finally hit me. Parenting isn't a journey, it's a crash landing. One moment you're dogging in the back of a Honda Civic, the next you're...
And that's the crazy thing. Like, they actually like liked each other, loved each other, knew each other for years, like got along well enough for them to get married, have just raw intercourse. Him just sent all his semen inside her. But then the semen grew legs and grew a vocal box or a voice box, and now it's a thing that you have to take care of pretty much for the rest of your or its life, whichever one ends first.
Holding a wet pool noodle, wondering where it all went wrong. All it takes is one bad decision.
For real.
Be careful. One thirsty text of you up for a lifetime of turbulence. So the next time you're thinking about not wearing a seatbelt, just remember.
Oh yeah. Oh dang.
Better than touchdown or... You need a license to drive, but not to spawn a gremlin?
Yeah.
How dangerous isn't the Jeep?
Yeah, bro. They need to do a test. What I in the next 10, 15 years, in the next 10, 15 years, this became a test to see if you can have a kid. Would I pass? I don't know.
It's off meds Pete. Babies aren't a starter Pokemon, okay? You don't just get to pick one and hope it evolves into a functioning adult. Why is it burning things?
Anyway, that will be the end of this video. And